Greetings from my front porch. It is a very windy day out here, so I apologize in advance for the background noise, but it's still quieter out here on my porch than inside of my house, where there are 5 kids, 2 dogs, and a husband. I really need to share something with the world, I suppose, or whoever is interested in listening, that I've been carrying on my own for quite some time. It's a very heavy burden, and at times has been overwhelming for me. But I know that it was the Lord who gave me this burden, so I don't begrudge it in any way. It's something that He's birthed in me, to be completely honest, and I am now ready to share it with the world. I've always had a very strong desire, almost a need, to feed people. And that extends to water as well. I think we are all aware of the fact that there are many, many places in the world that even today in 2017 don't have food, and they don't have access to clean, safe drinking water. Now this is something that for some people, I suppose they can see these commercials on TV and feel terrible about it in the moment, but then the commercial ends and you go back to life. But for me, I'm not able to do that. For whatever reason, it just sticks with me. And every time I turn on a faucet or flush a toilet or run the dishwasher, I've been just overwhelmed with this almost guilt over the fact that I have so much water in my house that I don't even think about it, how often and how frequently I use water. And there are people dying because they don't have any water, or the only water that they do have is dirty, it's poisoned, it's not safe. So you have to choose between dying of thirst or dying of the disease that you contract from drinking the only water that you have. Now, the reason this has been such a crushing burden for me is because what am I going to do about it? This is a very big world, and there are a lot of problems in it, and I'm one little person. Well, I'm not that little, but I'm one person, and I don't have an endless amount of money. I don't have the ability to hop on a plane and go dig a well somewhere, because I have 5 children, 2 dogs, and a husband that need me. So I just carried this burden and had no idea what to do with it, until one day I ended up on my friend's front porch just sobbing, just crying, because I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I didn't understand how this could possibly be a burden from God, because why would God give me a burden that I couldn't do anything about? And fortunately, this particular friend operates in the gift of wisdom, and God gave her some wisdom for me in that very moment. So my dear friend helped me to understand that the Lord was letting me know that there is something that I can do about this. It might just seem like a small thing to me, but a lot of small things add up to a very big thing. And every very big thing that has happened in the world usually started someplace small. So I decided to stop feeling so insignificant and just see what I can do. So I went home and started researching different water organizations. I already knew of a couple, and I give to them whenever I have extra money, but I don't generally have a ton of extra money. And I came across a charity that I'd never heard of before. It's called 3 Avocados. It stood out to me because I love avocados, so it got my attention. This charity came about from somebody else having a small moment. For them, the moment was watching a woman who didn't have much give everything that she had to help somebody else, and that happened to be the gift of 3 little avocados. And this woman gave them to a family who was hungry so that they could eat. And that moment inspired that man to do what he has done. And what he has done has inspired me. So I looked into this 3 Avocados company, and what I found was so fitting for me because it is a 2-part charity, and both parts I love. 3 Avocados uses coffee to help people who have no water. Now, anybody who knows me personally knows that I'm the coffee lady. If there's anything in this world I love, it's coffee. Here's a little bit about my backstory with coffee. So when I was a kid, my dad had a business based out of the home, and there were those big commercial coffee makers, and he would let me make the coffee in the morning, and I would taste test it when I was done, just to see how it was. And that's when I really realized how much I loved coffee. I was maybe 10 years old. Now, my mom did not let me drink coffee at that age. Just throwing that out there. Got you back, mama. But I did anyways because I loved it. So I was a very young lover of coffee. And by the time I was out on my own in the world, I graduated high school at 17 years old, moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and my first job was at a coffee chain, a very popular coffee chain. You all know what it is, I guarantee you. So I started behind the counter making coffee with this company, and found out that they had downtown Atlanta at one of their locations what they called their coffee college, where they had all kinds of classes. You could learn about any aspect of coffee, from growing coffee to roasting coffee, importing coffee, brewing coffee, anything you wanted to know about coffee. So I took all the classes I could. I mean, they were free for the employees, why not? So I learned all that I could about coffee. And maybe a year later, I was offered a job as the general manager of a new coffee company that was opening up. And I was thrilled. I was 18 years old, and now I'm running a coffee shop. It was very exciting. I got to go to the place that imported the coffee, where they roasted the beans, and really have my hands on every stage of that process. It was very exciting. So I threw all that out there just to say I know coffee. I know a thing or two about coffee. I have a long history with coffee. I'm a coffee lover. So you fast forward to today, and I am a coffee lover with a serious passion for getting people access to clean water. 3 Avocados is a perfect fit. So I ordered some coffee. Figured, let's just see how this goes. It is so windy out here. I'm sorry. So I went with Nicaragua right here. It sounded good to me, a nice medium roast. And so I ordered it. It arrived. I brewed a pot. I was blown away. Okay, we've established that I know a thing or two about coffee. We have established that I have had a lot of coffee in my days. And this coffee was the best coffee I had ever had. No exaggeration. Hands down, this coffee is amazing. So of course I immediately signed up for a subscription, because you can have this coffee shipped to you regularly at intervals that you select. I initially had selected the 2-week interval. That's approximately how fast I go through a bag of coffee. I quickly discovered that I go through this coffee twice as fast as I go through any other coffee, because it's so good. So now I'm on a weekly subscription. They have merchandise as well. They have t-shirts that are cute and funny. They have mugs. They have all kinds of stuff. I'm wearing one of my t-shirts right now, Change Your Coffee, Change the World, which is exactly what I did and exactly what I hope to do. So, here is my mission. I want to tell as many people as I can about this company, because this is a very easy, small thing that we can all do. If you drink coffee anyways, you can just order this coffee instead. And without even having to think about it, your regular coffee can arrive at your door, and you've made a difference. You've made a difference. You don't have to think about it at the store. You don't have to remember anything. You just sign up. They bill you, they send you the coffee, and you're making a difference. With every bag of coffee that you order, with every cup of coffee that you drink, you're making a difference without even having to try. And it's a wonderful feeling. I'm here to tell you that if you have a heavy burden in this way like I did, it's £1,000,000 off of my shoulders knowing that I am finally doing something that's actually making a difference. If you've never had this burden before, maybe you've just never thought about it before, I'm telling you now, this is a real problem and you can really make a difference. And even if you don't care a thing about it, this is still really good coffee and you're really gonna love it. So try it, order some, and just give it a try, because even if you don't care, you're still making a difference. And that's important. That's a big deal. And there are people in the world, I guarantee you, who will have their lives changed because you tried some coffee. So I'm just asking you today to consider giving it a try. Look into it. 3avocados.org. Just look into it. Give it a try. Thank you. What is going on with this wind?